Hey fellow gamers, I'm going to show you how you can become a better Fortnite console player on your Xbox and how it will help you compete with the PC keyboard and mouse players. As we all know, most of the professionals are keyboard and mouse. They're not Xbox or PlayStation gamers. And I've spoken with a couple of professionals and they tell me why keyboard and mouse on a PC is the best way to go. Well, if you're a typist and you learn anything about typing, you learn how to utilize all 10 fingers on a keyboard and how it syncs, and you learn by memory how to type in letters real quick without having to think about it, doing this little index finger punch, punch, punch. I fortunately took typing in high school, so I'm a fairly good typer. I could probably do 80 letters per minute, rather 80 words per minute. But you'll find that the Elite Series 2 will help narrow that gap as far as speediness and quickness. And I've noticed my game has improved by double. I bought this, the Elite Series 2, it's been about 8 or 9 months ago. And to be honest with you, I used it for a couple of weeks, and I was like, well, that's $180 down the drain. And I just put it in a box and threw it to the side. But talking with a few gamers, they changed my mind. I got it back out. I was able to get the paddles synced up with my building, the keys that I wanted, and I haven't gone back since. I'm like, man, I love this controller. But I wasn't like that at the beginning. One problem I would have is that the keys, the paddles would start sticking, and same with the little buttons up here. But you'll learn that if you work it in, and sometimes you literally have to just keep working it in, that they'll start to become more flexible and usable. Same thing with the paddles down here. They just take a lot of use to start to kind of wearing it in. And they are tough, and they can take a lot of playing and wear on them. Well, how the Elite 2 kind of mimics the keyboard is because you're utilizing more than your index finger for the building. So as we know, as we're playing regular console with an Xbox, we're utilizing the index finger to go to all 4 builds: your cone, your wall, your ramp, and your floor. And so you're going back and forth. And this is actually very uncomfortable with your index finger to go back up here. Well, by the time you go back up and you're building a cone, the PC player has already made 4 moves with their keyboard by the time you go up to your index finger. So now you understand why they're better and why they're quicker. Plus, they're using their mouse at the same time. They're using both hands, right? A regular controller is kind of like driving a car. It keeps you steady, but you're super slow. And like a steering wheel, you're not meant to make swift moves. You're meant to just keep control. And a controller is like that. Well, what the Elite Series 2 did was they added these 4 paddles here on the bottom, and these can be taken off if you ever want to for other games, because they can get in the way with other games if you only utilize this. But what you would do is you set up in your settings on Xbox to where you can designate any button to these 4 paddles. So you can do Y, you can do X, you could assign the same button to 2 different paddles. But of course, what I do, and if you're a Fortnite player, you're going to designate these to your builds. So this one right here would represent this button. So this paddle down here would represent your right RB button. This one here would be your RT. This one here would be your down here would be your LB, and then LT. So what you're doing is you're utilizing these 4 fingers instead of just the index. Now, I think I do something different than most Fortnite players that use this particular controller. I use these 2 buttons here, same for the LB and the RB. I'll use my ring finger on these bottom ones, and then I'll use my index finger and keep it just like you would on a regular one, right? And I use these for the LT and RT. So I'm utilizing my index fingers and my 2 ring fingers, and my middle fingers just sit there. And so I'm utilizing these, and I feel like that this is more comfortable for me to use. I've noticed my Fortnite game building has doubled from using this. And there's no amount of practice that you can do or playing to do that will make you quick enough to compete with an elite. And definitely not quick enough to compete with a PC. So, that's why it's worth $170 if you got it in your budget to pay for an Elite 2. I got mine on Amazon for $180. There's more expensive ones. Some are more like rapid fire. Those are like in the 300s. And then there's some that are made out of different kind of material. And these do weigh a little bit more than your regular controllers by a few ounces. But let me tell you something. The speed that you have with these two will, with these extra paddles, will help you tremendously. As you see here, you have different settings. So, like, if you're playing Fortnite on one game and Roblox on another, and then Minecraft on another, or just some other different game, right? Call of Duty or what have you, and you want different buttons designated, it's got 4 different settings. So as you can see here, I can go from here, so I can like set in my settings in Xbox for my controller. I could do that. Could be for Fortnite. As you can see, these light goes on. That could be for Roblox. That could be for Call of Duty, for example. So it gives you 4 different settings, which you can designate different different buttons to these particular 4 paddles. And you do that under Xbox. You go into Xbox. When you install this, it's easy to do. You just link it up to your Xbox console. And then you go in there to where you have the black Xbox Elite controller. And you change these paddle settings. And then same thing, you go into Fortnite and you change the settings around in there some too. It will take about an hour for you to get it. But let me tell you something. Once you get everything adjusted, take your time. You will get it set. And let me tell you something. It will speed your game up rapidly. The overall quality is very good with these controllers. You can tell it's made out of very, very high quality material. They send you, of course it's wireless, and you could charge it up through USB that you connect to your Xbox, or it's got like a little XB here, and it's like a little station where you just set it on there, and it'll charge your controller. The battery lasts really a long time. It lasts me at least 2 or 3 days before charging it. Or you can just plug it up and have it working directly from your Xbox as you're playing. And then they send you some extra paddles and some gear with a nice hard carrying case. But if you got $180 to spare and you want to improve your Fortnite game, go ahead and try it. And that would be the reason to do it, is because it will speed your game up by a lot. All right, thanks for watching.